everyone, it is Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. I have seen everyone and their redheaded stepchild doing a reset video recently, and I want to be trendy, okay? No, but seriously, I've really been enjoying these kind of videos recently, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, a reset video is just basically where a YouTuber just goes through their monthly routine of how they set up themselves for the following month. I thought it would be interesting to do one, not only because I like these types of videos, but because I want to put like my own little personal author spin on this. I figured I could share as an author how I bookkeep my expenses for my author taxes, go over my writing goals, reading goals, life goals. I always need to do some journaling, and I need to do a little bit of a cleanup of my desk. This is kind of like a more chill monthly routine that I try to do around the 30th to the 2nd of every month, and I'm hoping to share it with you guys in like a fun, chill, hopefully aesthetic way. I don't know, it is me after all, so who knows how this will turn out. But first things first, I do need to get through and get organized for the month before I can do any of like the fun reset stuff. I'm gonna start with filling out my goals for the month and putting them in my planner, doing the bookkeeping, which is never fun, but luckily last month in June I did not spend that much, if any. I also need to journal. I also need to figure out a schedule for my writing. I need to make some deadlines for myself because I want to get my pitch package of Bitter Bones, my middle grade horror, sent into my agent by July 16th, which is gonna be a lot for me. So I'm thinking, like, I'll have to look on my calendar and see how it's gonna work, but I'm thinking I'm gonna have to have a chapter and a half revised every single week, which is gonna be hard. So yeah, we got a lot to do. Let's just dive right in. All right, I got all of my goals figured out, so let's go over them now. First, let's start with YouTube goals. I am going to be doing my summer sprints all summer long, so I didn't even feel like I needed to add those as a goal, but I did want to work on at least 3 videos this month. I always do an updates videos, so usually in the first week of the new month I do one for the previous month, so my June updates will be coming early in July. And then I also want to do a mid-year goal check-in, like just let you know how all of my projects are going, how I'm doing with all of my different goals that I went over in the beginning of the year. I love doing that every year, and I love watching people who make those videos. So that's gotta happen this month. And I don't know if I'm gonna have time to publish it this month, but I do want to make more progress in my anatomy of story video that I'm planning. A lot of you guys have been asking for years for me to go over how I use anatomy of story to plot and brainstorm my books, and I'm finally doing it. I reread all of Anatomy of Story and I took notes on everything. The notes were massive. And I'm just trying to figure out how I want to put it all into a video. It's difficult because I already have videos about my brainstorming and outlining process, and I feel like this is kind of going to be the exact same thing, except I guess I'm going into more, I could go into more detail with the Anatomy of Story stuff. I'll figure that out, and that'll either be going up in July or August. For my writing goals, the biggest one, my main goal of this entire month, is that I need to get the pitch package for Bitter Bones sent to Samantha. I really want to get it done by the 16th, which is like halfway through the month. We'll see if that happens, but I really want to get that to her because we need to start working on revisions together so that we can get those done and send it to Scholastic so I can sell something, so I can get paid something this year. For those of you that don't know, hello, welcome to traditional publishing. You don't get paid that often. I'm getting paid once this year when the odd book comes out, and that's it. That's all the money for the full year. So it'd be really nice to sell another book. And to be able to do that, I have to get this pitch package off to Scholastic. And that's just for the chance of getting a book deal. They might not even buy it, who knows. Another writing goal is that I need to start planning my marketing things that I want to do for the odds, since it's coming out in a little over 2 months now. All of the Instagram posts that I want to make, I need to brainstorm those. Any fun YouTube videos. Last year with the Glass Witch, I did like a 2-week video blitz where I had a bunch of like fun the Glass Witch themed videos, and I thought it would be fun to do something like that for the odds as well. So I need to get all of that planned out. I need to decide if I need to order any like flyers or postcards or bookmarks. I need to talk to my publicist and see what all they are doing, probably set up a meeting with them, because they do most of it. I just do little things. I also want to make sure to contact my local indie bookstore that I really want to work with. They're a brand new store. I need to contact her and be like, hey, I know you just got your store open, but are you doing online ordering? Because I'd love to do pre-order campaigns through you. I also, I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I want to talk to my publicist about doing some school events this year. I didn't do any with the Glass Witch because I just had so much going on, and at the time that did just not sound fun. Like, it just sounded so stressful on top of everything else. I'm gonna take the odds more chill because, you know, it's not my debut anymore. I don't feel like I need to do everything, but I want to do a couple school visits. I want to go around to the local area and like say, hey, buy my book. How do you do school visits? Don't ask me. And then my last 2 goals are life goals. Now for this first one, I'm gonna pop up a little thing here just to let you know I'm gonna be talking about diets. I don't think it's anything too sensitive, but like, you know, everyone has their own story. So until that goes away, we're talking about dieting. I am ending my elimination diet with gluten, which is really exciting. I was put on this by my doctor just to see if gluten was affecting the migraines, see if we could ease them, and I am finally able to add gluten back into my diet starting in July. So we're gonna slowly do that. Your girl is so ready to eat breads and pastas again, praise the Lord. Honestly, it's not been that bad. Like, I've actually just been not eating as many carbohydrates because I can't have the ones that I really want. So I feel like I'm like more healthy than I've been in the past 6 weeks than, you know, I was before that. And then the last one is really fun. I want to get one of those like really cool trendy kiddie pools, but for adults. I really wanted to get one of these last year. I saw them, like someone sent me a TikTok about them, and it was like how millennials are taking baby pools and making them like chic. I'm thinking of getting one and putting it out on the patio, and since we live in an apartment, we'll just have to get like a hose adapter for the kitchen sink so that we can fill it up that way. Is this a little extravagant? Because I live in an apartment complex with a pool literally about 50 steps away from my house? Yes, but it's hot girl summer, and this hot girl wants her baby floaty pool. But now that all of the easy office stuff is out of the way, I need to start doing some of the physical manual labor that goes into this time of the year. I need to clean off my desk. I need to clean off the windowsill and water all the plants up there, and I need to pot some plants in my garden that I don't have done. Is that technically like a reset thing because I don't do this every single month? No, but I'm gonna do it anyway, so like why not record it? I'm gonna change into some pants that I don't mind getting sweaty in, and we're gonna get started. Hello. I have had a few minutes, poured my tea, I've put my hair up, and I've changed out of my jeans because I'm not a psychopath. So for this part, we're gonna continue with the nice, relaxing, fun hobby side of planning. This might come as a massive shock to you guys, but I love reading. I usually read about 150 books a year. To keep up with that and to make sure that I am reading all of the books that I'm interested in, I make a monthly TBR. I make this list based on a bunch of different things. I have some yearly goals that I try to hit reading wise, and then I also do some fun readathons throughout the year. I use Goodreads to organize all of the things that I want to read. It's sitting at 134 books right now, which I'm okay with. I also have a TBR spreadsheet that I do in Excel where I separate all of the books out by age category and genre, and the different color blocks mean different things, and those are usually based on readathons or other goals. Now I try to keep up on my yearly goals by breaking them down into like manageable monthly goals. That's what we gotta focus on. So let's go ahead and look at the goals and see which ones I need to be working on. I know there's one in particular that probably needs some more work. I have my 2023 goals, and we're gonna go down here to reading. So the first one I need to look at is read all 2023 anticipated releases. I've actually read all of the 2023 releases that I'm very excited about that are already available. My next one doesn't come out until the fall. I'm good on that goal. I don't need to worry about that. Next we have complete buzzwordathon. I've talked about this before, but this is a year-long readathon hosted by Books and Lala, where every month you just get a buzzword and that word just needs to be in the title of the book in some way. I've done this for the past 3 years. It's just really, it's like a fun way to add a little bit of a challenge to your reading. Now I do have a full buzzwordathon spread somewhere. So for July, it is weather words. We'll come back to this because I could go through my entire Goodreads TBR looking for weather words, but I'm not gonna make you guys sit through that because that would be boring. Okay, next reading goal. Read or delete all books on Goodreads TBR added in 2020 or earlier. Ooh, okay, so I know I'm kind of behind on this, and I've talked about this before, but yeah, I really don't like my Goodreads getting overwhelmed with like a bunch of like clutter books that I added years and years ago that I'm not actually interested in reading anymore. So I set myself this extra challenge that if a book has been on my Goodreads TBR list for 3 years, in the calendar year that it's been on there 3 years, it is time to either read it or delete it off of the TBR. I have a couple books on the chopping block. I've called these down quite a bit since the beginning, and I've actually read a few of them too. You can see I've got a couple of them, and they are the dark blue ones. That is what this color means. There's only a few left, as you can see. In the adult sci-fi section, we have one. This is Leviathan Wakes. This is like a massive space opera, like 15 book series. I think it's still ongoing. I'm so interested in the concept, but I'm very intimidated by the whole situation. And then the next genre age category is adult fantasy. Now we have 12 Kings. This is the 12 Kings of Sherikai. It's like a desert themed fantasy. The Blade Itself and A Little Hatred, both of these are Joe Abercrombie, who I've never read from, but I'm excited to give him a try. And I know for a fact my library does have these in audiobook. And then the last one is Queen of the Conquered, which my library I know does not have in any other format besides physical, because I have checked it out from the library before in physical because of this exact problem, and I never got around to it before it was due back. I'm just gonna say right away, Queen of the Conquered is out because again, I feel like this month is gonna be really busy and physical reading is so hard for me. I'm also gonna cut Leviathan Wakes because I'm just not prepared. I'll have to check, let me check my library app really quick and see if they have this in audiobook form. They don't. Okay, so it's The Blade Itself. This is the older series, so I want to start with that one first before I go on to A Little Hatred. Maybe if I like them, I'll like read them back to back or something. Yes, okay, so let's add both of these to the TBR. Now there is one more reading goal that we can look over here, and that is to read or unhaul all the books in my physical TBR. Okay, so like how I like to do the Goodreads TBR with every 3 years, call it, I'm the same with my physical TBR, except it's every year. Like if you get a book in 2022, you better read it in 2023. I don't have any books left from 2022 that I need to read that I don't already have planned for a certain season. Some of them are like spooky vibes or like end of summer vibes, so I'm waiting for certain months to read them in. But I do have a physical book that I need to read off of my TBR this month. I already mentioned Books books in all at once, but she does this really fun scavenger hunt. I'll link the video down below so you can check it out if you want. But it's just like a fun way to pick the next book on your TBR. It leads you from one book to another, and finally you get the one that you're supposed to be reading. I watched her latest video and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. I'm gonna do that on my own. So yeah, this is the TBR from Tress and the Emerald Sea on over. That book that led me through the scavenger hunt was A Tangle of Spells, which is the third book in the Pinch of Magic series. Oh, and you know what? Oh no. Storm. That's a weather word. Okay, well, I knew that this was one of the physical books that I was gonna read because I had done that scavenger hunt and I was like, why the heck not? Let's actually physically read it. But this works as a weather word. And if I read them both this month, I can finish off the series. Okay, I'm gonna add it to the TBR. We'll see. The next thing that we need to look at is my rereads. I am a rereading girly this year. I've already reread 15 books and I'm living my best life. I made a list. This is where I knew I would get into physically reading a lot territory. Let me go get them. All right, so here they are. They're both middle grade. The first one is A Snicker of Magic by my favorite, Natalie Lloyd. I'm almost positive that The Key to Extraordinary is my favorite book by her, but I haven't read this first one in so long, and this is the one that gets the most hype and the most love, so I really need to reread it to like affirm to myself that either this is my favorite or this is my favorite because this was my favorite till this one was my favorite, so I don't know. But it has big summer vibes because it's all about like ice cream and summertime and Appalachia. And then the next one I'm a little nervous for, The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle, and this is by Avie. This was a book that really got me into reading. I was 10 years old when my teacher read it to the class. It follows a girl who is taking a passage from England to the States, but for whatever reason when she gets on board, the family that's supposed to be there chaperoning her has like canceled and they're not there, and so have all of the other like passengers on the ship besides the crew, and then like weird stuff starts happening once they hit the open waters. And I just remember it being like the best mystery as a kid. I'm a little nervous though because I reread some of Avie's other works that I loved as a kid and I don't know if they like held up. I know already that there are some kind of gross tropes in here. A little nervous for that, but I still want to reread because this was such like a monumental book for me. All right, so for the next pick, I also like to look and see if there's any books that I should be picking up given the weather or certain holidays coming up. And I know that it's Disability Pride Month in July, so I want to read some books by disabled authors. I actually was sent this by the author, like so freaking sweet. But this is Where You See Yourself, and this is by Claire Forrest. This is about a girl who wants to go to college, but she's a little bit scared because there are not enough accommodations for her. The author, as well as the main character, has cerebral palsy. That hits very close to home. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on this channel, but I used to have a brother and he had cerebral palsy as well. So it will be nice to read from authors and hear their perspective and listen to their voice. So I'm pumped for this one. Okay, next I'm jumping on the hype train, Fourth Wing. I have to. I just have to. But I'm gonna see how long the wait is at my library and see if I can put it on hold and read it. This is like dragon school, dragon writing. Sign me up. The main character, I don't remember what disability she does have, but I know it is a pain disorder. So like living that life with you, girly. So that one is going on the TBR as well. But okay. Listen, this is when I'm extra. Before I was an Authortuber, I was a booktuber, right? I love booktube. Like I watch booktube, I think more than I watch Authortube, just because reading books, like, oh my gosh, best thing ever. And everyone does these really fun TBR jars with some fun prompts. So I'm like, well, I want to do that, but I didn't want what was in my TBR jar to be like, you know, the prompts you always see. I wanted them to be more individualized to my likes and my hobbies and things like that, just to make it like a little bit more fun for me. So I did it. I made a TBR jar. Look how pretty. I used some fun paper. I sat outside one day and I just made a list, wrote them all down, cut them out, and I made a little jar. And my idea behind this was that every month I was gonna pick one slip of paper until we ran out of slips of paper, and then we would start all over again. I actually think these are really clever and I need to go through them and mix them all up anyway, so I thought we would like read these together. The first one, Brian picks my book. Brian is my husband. He's absolutely chaotic, so he's perfect for this. He would just like, I don't know by what methods he would pick the book, but it would be wild. A 5-star prediction, because your girl needs more of those this year. Yellow on the cover, because yellow is my current favorite color. It is my whole vibe. It is my everything. A book from my fullest age category genre column in my TBR spreadsheet that I showed you. That would be adult thriller mystery, but we'll see. A lot of times adult thriller mystery and YA fantasy are like neck and neck. A book Max would read. Max is my beautiful baby angel dog. He's just so pure. Authortuber. I'm sure whatever book he would choose would be just as beautiful and precious as him. A book with Sagittarius vibes because that's who I am. So I'm thinking like travel books, books about knowledge, books about learning, books about the forest, books about like activity, camping, hiking, horse books, something like that. The oldest book on my TBR, that right now, that would be the 12 Kings of Sherakai. A book my current work in progress main character would read. I thought this would be fun because it will change. So like I'm gonna get a different main character possibly for all of them, and they would all read very different things, so that would be very fun. A book that gives English breakfast tea vibes, a book that gives chamomile tea vibes, so I'm thinking like calm, relaxing, summer, whatever. The book that I'm most excited to read, because I love myself, I need that every now and then. Random number generator chooses my book. That's horrifying. A book Begonia would read, My Baby Sassy Grandma Rabbit. I don't know what she would choose. It would be something, I feel like she would choose a cozy mystery because she's a little dark, a little sassy, so it definitely need murder in it, but also she's a grandma, so like Thursday Murder Club or something. A book Chauncey would read, My Boston Terrier, who is chaotic. That's exactly what he would pick, the most chaotic book on my TBR. A book from my physical TBR, a book from one of the least read genres and age categories on my TBR, and that right now looks like it would be regular fiction, lit fiction, or romance has just 3, middle grade contemporary has just 2. So one of those. A book that matches my outfit. If I pick this today, it'll have to be green. The newest addition to my TBR. Ooh, try 30% of a book I'm thinking I might not be feeling anymore. That'll be interesting. That'd be a good way to like cull some things down. Use my phone to pick a squishmallow and then pick a book that Squish would read. Yeah, that's perfectly catered to me because I don't know if you can see back there, but yeah, I have a problem. A book that has the vibe that matches the current season. A book that gives peppermint tea vibes. A debut author's book. And last one, a book Wiener would read. Wiener is my cat, and she is a precious angel baby of Satan himself. It would definitely be something dark, darkly chaotic. Chauncey is like chaotic good. Wiener is like chaotic evil. That is all of the options. Now we're gonna go through. We're gonna mix them up and pull one from the middle. This is the one. This is the one, folks. You read it before I do. A book from my physical TBR. Can I cross do these? Because I'm already technically reading these two from my physical TBR. Like, can we do that? How many physical books does that mean I'm gonna be reading? Oh no, my little disabled neck is not gonna be able to cope. At least all of these already. Do we have a short book that I don't already have plans to read? Oh no, they're all massive. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick a short story collection. That makes me feel a little bit better. Eyes, Guts, Throat, and Bone. This is by Moira Fowley Doyle. She's one of my favorite like spooky contemporary young adult authors, and this is her adult short story horror debut. What would the end of the world look like? Will it be an old man slowly turning to gold, flowers raining from the sky, or a hole cut through a wire fencing that keeps monsters out? Is it someone you love wearing your face, or a good old-fashioned interdimensional summoning? Does it sound like a howl outside the window, or does it look like coming home? This startling and irresistibly witty collection from the phenomenally talented Moira Fowley is an exploration of all our darkest impulses and deepest fears. Well, this is a bit more physically reading than I ever like to do. I do have a really nice reading apparatus that holds my book up at like neck height for me, but I do have to stand while using it, which isn't as relaxing. That's the TBR. Thanks for joining me. So what do you guys do for your monthly resets? Do you reset at all? Do you look over your goals? Do you reflect on the month? You'll have to let me know. I'm always looking for more ways to maximize my organization and productivity in a healthy way. We're mental health queens around here. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it motivated you or inspired you, maybe gave you some ideas that you can start implementing in the beginning of the month. Don't forget that the Odds is available for pre-order. She comes out in 2 months basically, and order links for the Glass Witch are down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and join me for my summer sprints all summer long on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. EST, where we write, read, be productive, whatever you need to do for an hour and a half every night. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.